Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. So we have the head of state receives a delegation from the International Finance Corporation. For the international scene, African refugees stranded at borders say they are victims of racism. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, received this morning a delegation from the International Finance Corporation, IFC, a member of the World Bank Group. The delegation, composed of senior members of the IFC's Africa Management Team, was led by the Vice President for the region, Sergio Pimonta. Discussion is focused on how the Djibouti private sector, with the support of the IFC, can help expand access to finance for microfinance, small and medium enterprises, and access to affordable housing for the Djiboutian population. Strengthening manufacturing and infrastructure, logistics, energy, ICT were also high on the agenda. IFC's strategy is aligned with the government's Vision 2035 development plan, which aims to stimulate growth and improve the quality of the life of Djiboutians through increased private sector investment. For his part, the Vice President of IFC, Sergio Pimonta, said for his part, I am honored to have met the President of the Republic today at the meeting of the Minister of Finance, Ilyas Moussa Dawale. This is the first arrival in Djibouti. There is a great opportunity in finding the needs of previous neighbors of this country. Therefore, the special role Djibouti plays special roles in order to receive government responsibility, and we discussed the needs for supporting as well as training energy information. The company I represent is ready to support the public and private sectors in Djibouti. For her part, the Minister of Investment and Private Sector, Safiya Mohammed Ali Gadile, said that we meet with the President of the Republic and our guests of honor, the Vice President of IFC, and had a fruitful discussions on the private sectors and how to boost them and enable young people to become entrepreneurs in the Republic of Djibouti. In an interview granted to the national television, the Minister of Economy and Finance, Ilyas Moussa Dawale, said that the Vice President of the International Finance Corporation, who is on a working visit to Djibouti for several days, had a series of talks with the Djiboutian authorities on the development of the investment sector and private enterprises in our country. President Guelleh and his host discussed a number of issues, including the expansions of social housing projects for the benefit of simple and low-income population. Said Ilyas Moussa Dawale, Djibouti's number one. Also discussed with the Vice President of the International Finance Corporation economic components such as the renewable energy sector, but thermal, solar, and wind energy, in addition to strengthening the role of private companies in creating jobs and employment opportunities. The Minister of Foreign Affairs International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, met this morning in the meeting room of his department with the Egyptian delegations led by Ambassador Sharif Issa, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Egypt. The discussion is focused mainly on the visit of the President of the Republic to Cairo and the ways and means to strengthen bilateral relations between the two brotherly and friendly countries. They also discussed health transport, including the constructions of the Djibouti Hol Road and the constructions of a new hospital. The minister thanked his host for coming to Djibouti for a working visit. As for the Egyptian ambassador, he thanked the Djiboutian minister for the warm welcomes and his delegations were given. The meeting was attended by the Djibouti's ambassador to Egypt, Ahmed Ali Barre, and the director of the Arab World at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Minister of Islamic Affairs, Waqf Momin Hassan Barre, sponsored this morning the inauguration ceremony of the Dar al-Mu'minat Center for the Memorizations of the Holy Quran after its renovations with the support and funding of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia through its embassy in Djibouti. The inauguration ceremony took place in the presence of the ambassador of the custodian of the two holy mosques in Djibouti, Faisal bin Sultan al-Qabbani, and senior officials of the Ministry of Islamic Affairs, Waqf, as well as the director of the Dar al Muminat Center for the Memorizations of the Holy Quran, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin Ali, and the directors of Islamic Institute of Djibouti, Majid Al-Saka. At the opening of the ceremony, the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Waqfa and Saudi ambassador to Djibouti cut the opening ribbon. We then visited the different rooms of the schools, which were renovated with the support of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia within the framework of bilateral agreement and cooperation between the two brotherly countries. For his part, the ambassador of the custodian of the two holy places mosque in Djibouti, Faisal bin Sultan Al-Qabbani, delivered a brief speech on this occasion in which he expressed his great pleasure to participate in the inauguration ceremony of the Dar al-Mu'mina Center for the Memorizations of the Holy Quran, located in the 6th district of the capital. He took the opportunity to urge the officials of these educational institutions to continue their effort to raise generations to memorize the book of the Almighty God and inculcate Islamic values in their soul, praising the sponsorship of the Ministry of Islamic Affairs on this valuable occasion. He stressed that this project represents the first of the various projects that will be implemented in Djibouti with the support of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia within the framework of fraternal cooperation and successful partnership between the two brotherly countries and peoples. On his part, the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Waqf, Momin Hassan Barre, held in his speech the distinguished relations between the Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which are growing steadily thanks to the wise leadership of the two countries represented by the President Ismail Omar Guelleh and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. The Minister of Islamic Affairs and Waqf took the opportunity to commend the efforts made by the director of Dar al-Mu'mina Center for the Preservation of the Holy Quran, calling on the directors of the Institute of Moderation and Cultures of Peace to enable the graduates of this institution to complete their educational orientation in the brotherly countries, through which the ministry has concluded agreements in this regard. On Monday, 28 February 2022, the ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti accredited to Morocco, Mohamed Duhour Hirsi, received at the Chancellery in Rabat. The military community present on the Moroccan territory during this reception, sponsored by the ambassador Duhour, Colonel Major Mohamed Ibrahim Moussa, defense attaché at the Moroccan embassy, presented the different categories of our Djiboutian armed forces currently in training in the different schools of the Royal Armed Forces in Morocco. Ambassador Duhour, in his speech, urged the trainees from the Air Force, Army, the National Navy, the Coast Guard, and the directions of the joint services of our defense forces, their total implication in the reinforcement, in the strengthening of the solid bond of friendship between our two sister armed forces and their efforts of integration in the community of the trainees of their respective promotions. The Medical Center of Obok launched the first phase of the vaccination campaign against polio in the nurseries of the region of Obok on Sunday, 27 February. The launching ceremony was attended by the Deputy Prefect of the Obok region, Mohamed Awa, the President of the Obok Regional Council, Mohamed Hamad Ismail, the Chief Physicians of the Obok Medical Center, Dr. Abdul Qadir Mohamed Ali, as well as several senior officials from the Ministry of Health, UNICEF, and WHO officials. Let us recall that this first phase of the anti-polio vaccination campaign will take place from 27 February to 3 March 2022 and will target all children under the age of 5 years of age throughout the national territory. Our country periodically conducts vaccination campaign to maintain this achievement at all costs and allow Djibouti's children to flourish in a healthy environment. On this launching occasion, about 13 children received their dose of polio vaccines from the authorities of the region, as well as the senior staff of the OBOC Center for Medical Centers and the international partners WHO and UNICEF. During the course of this week, as part of the prevention of all types of crimes and acting on information gathered, the investigations of the Brigade 6 and 7 stopped a taxi-type vehicle which was behaving suspiciously. During the search of the vehicle, the gendarmes discovered 31 bottles of gin, 22 bottles of pastis, and 24 bottles of vodka, and 2 batch of Heineken beer. Each containing 24 pieces, a total of 48 beers. These alcoholic products were intended for resale in prohibited places, places that do not have an approved sales licenses. Indeed, none on the arrested persons had a sales license. All those involved were brought before the competent judicial authority and then detained in the Gabot prison. For the international scene, military operations in Ukraine, African refugees stranded at borders say they are victims of racism. The war in Ukraine has sent floods of Ukrainians onto the roads, with more than 660,000 already having fled to neighboring countries since the fighting began. Among the hundreds of thousands of people trying to flee Ukraine to neighboring countries, including Poland, are many African nationals, most of them students. However, accusations of racist behavior towards them are growing. According to the some account, African nationals have been blocked at the Ukrainian borders to give priority to Ukrainians. Some videos showing Africans being turned away at train stations and at the borders with Poland have sparked outrage on social networks. And to close up this edition, World Bank announces over 1 billion in aid for Afghanistan. The World Bank has approved more than 1 billion in humanitarian assistance to support the peoples of Afghanistan through the reallocations of funding from the Afghanistan Reconstruction Trust Fund. The funding will be in the form of grant to the UN agencies and international non-governmental organizations. The Washington-based agency said in a statement it will remain outside the control of the Taliban's interim administration. It said it follows the one announced on December 10 for an amount of $280 million. The World Bank said that the time that it was a first step, the Washington-based institution had to suspend its aid to Kabul at the end of August after the Taliban returned to power. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have and follow with the regional and communal election special news with the Dinusa.